All right, guys, Valorant is officially coming to console. I'm extremely excited because we have an entire new community that's going to be joining us. They have no idea what's happening in the game. They have no idea what they're getting into. It's going to be bonkers. I personally don't really play too much console, but I might even hop on to dabble and see what kind of community we got coming in. Let me tell you why I'm hooked to Valorant. Strategically, there's so many different plays you can make. Not only cohesion between the agents, but also in terms of the ideas and strats you can run on each map. There's a number of ways to play rounds out. There's a number of different situations that could happen. Scenarios are endless. On top of that, it's incredibly mechanically demanding, especially with agents like Raze or Neon or Yoru.
That's real.
That's him. That's him. That's him, right?
There's so many different abilities that you have to understand how to use, but also how to sequence in a way that makes sense. I think Valorant gives you a lot of hype moments just in general, not only from the events that we watch in terms of the pros competing, but even when I'm playing myself or when my teammates are playing. I think seeing the chat go crazy or your teammates like cheer you on. Another thing that makes Valorant special is the community. I think not only with the player base being so worldwide and spread across a number of countries, but also collaborate with each other and build relationships and friendships. Even for myself, I've met a lot of new people through Valorant. I think that social aspect of it is really special to not only me, but also everyone else in the community, because we all have the same passion, and that's gaming. I also think what's cool about Valorant is that I think it's very welcoming in the sense that people can pick up the game, find friends to play with, have a good time. What makes it really special is there's always something new coming up. There's always someone new coming up. Valorant does a really good job at spicing things up, keeping it hot, and making it interesting for the community. For you guys that are coming from console, a little bit about the game. Valorant's a 5v5 tactical shooter. You've got 5 attackers and 5 defenders. It's round-based, so first to 13 wins. The goal of the attackers is to plant the spike on designated areas of the map, and the goal of the defenders is to stop that from happening. If the spike does explode, attackers win, but defenders can defuse the spike if done in time. There's 7 maps that the game is played on, with new ones being released throughout each year. So each map has its own characteristic that changes how players can approach the match and what agents you do end up playing. Let's say for Lotus, since it does have 3 bomb sites, you're more likely to play double controller because you need more control across the map, and someone like Viper and Omen can make that possible for you. In terms of guns, at the beginning of each round, there's a buy period where there's time before the round starts where you purchase guns and abilities. Economy is extremely important in Valorant. Your firepower is essentially limited to the money you've got, the guns you have, and the abilities you have. So we've got pistols, SMGs, shotguns, rifles, snipers, and heavy machine guns to choose from. You have to basically account for how many credits you have to make sure that you're buying with your teammates, but also not buying too much on those eco rounds. In the game, we have 24 different agents, and they all have different abilities and serve a specific role. Quickly looking at that, the roles that we do have are Duelist, Initiator, Sentinel, and Controller. The Duelist is a more aggressive playstyle, someone who's opening up the bomb site. I guess the way to describe them would be like the primary attacker. An Initiator is the agent who kicks the action off, gets you into the bomb site. A Sentinel is more of a defensive agent who helps lock down positions, also plays this lurk role. The Controller is the guy who's dropping smokes and gives your team the advantage of blocking off choke points and making it easier for you to take the bomb site or defend the bomb site. It's important that you try to figure out which one suits your playstyle the best. A few agents like Phoenix, Sky, and Reyna have these abilities called flashes. These abilities basically block off the enemy's vision, so it's really helpful to combo that, especially when you're taking a bomb site or even defending a bomb site, to make it easier for your teammates to get those kills. Agents like Brimstone, Omen, and Jet have abilities called smokes. These abilities block off small areas, which make it a bigger gamble for the enemies approaching. So you can either play in these smokes, or you can use the smokes to block off certain choke points. Agents like Killjoy, Cypher, Deadlock, Sage, Sentinels essentially, have these abilities that stall the enemy off. So whether it's through a KJ Molly or a Cypher trip to slow them down, Deadlock wall or a Sage wall to make it harder for them to take the site. These abilities basically give time for the rotate to come in and apply pressure to the enemy team and make it harder for them to take the site. The nice thing about all these agents is that it was designed for them to synergize. in the sense that they can all work together, create those openings or exploit those weaknesses. Especially in pro play, you can see what some of the optimal ways are to use these abilities and sync them up in a way that is the most effective. Whether it's syncing up your smokes, your flashes, your darts, having your duelist entry into the bomb site, but in a way that the timings make sense so you have the highest percent chance of winning the round. So to start off the rounds, Genji, they smoke off Cat, they dart mid, and then Lucky lines up this shock dart to break the KJ alarm bot on mid. So he's got a set lineup for that. So you can see this go through. And at the same time, he's got 3 of his teammates walking up Cat into their own smoke. So what they've done here is they smoked off Cat, shock darted the alarm bot mid. It actually missed, it didn't get it. And they also KO daggered market. So what they're really doing here is kind of faking like a B split. But at the same time that they're doing all that, they're now inside the Cat smoke. And they've got Sova at A main, getting ready to drone, while they KO flash through the Cat smoke that they placed. In this moment, they also KO ult and drop a smoke into tree. Now it's essentially just a really fast A split off of faking the B split. And over here, you can see Munchkin gets the first kill on Patatek. But I don't know if it was a coincidence or intentional. It actually worked out perfectly because Boo is in that corner on the right where Patatek kind of just died. And it's extremely unlikely for you to expect 2 guys to be here. Boo making a rat play here, catching 2 guys, doing a really good job at delaying them. Buys enough time for his teammates to actually rotate and for Benji to take this really good timing through the smoke and catch a spray transfer, which is absolutely nasty. And then Rians runs out Heaven as the rotator to close out the round. I think a couple of cool things here in terms of the strategy from Genji, faking the split into a explosive A strat, but also Heretics with the rat play, 2 guys on the right side, catching them unexpectedly, and Benji making a really cool play through the smoke on a good timing. So now that you have an understanding of how to play the game, how the game works, what the agents are, the guns, etc., here's 10 things that you need to know before you get into the game so that you aren't absolutely lost. Communication's everything. If you're not talking to your teammates, you're not only hurting yourself, but you're also lowering your chances of winning the game. No one wants to play with someone who doesn't talk, so please use your microphone. Use your abilities. Guns are only half the game. These abilities are essential to help you win these rounds. If you are the guy that's playing Initiator and you're not using your drone, you're not using your stun, you're not setting up your teammates, it's extremely frustrating to play with you. So please try to understand that those abilities are designed to help you win. Gunfights are important, but abilities make it a lot easier for you. Any audio? Audio cues give you key information to help you win rounds, not only for footsteps, but also for utility being thrown out and understanding what's going on in the map. So if you are playing on the controller and you are on your TV, please get a headset because it's going to make a big difference for you. You're going to miss out on a lot otherwise. Economy is critical. If your teammates are saving, please save with them. If your teammates are buying, please buy with them. Don't be that guy that's buying on your own, because you're just lowering the chances of winning again. The clock can be your friend. Pay attention to how much time is left in each round. It might save you. There's only a certain amount of time you have to take the bomb site or defend the bomb site. So pay attention to it, use it to your advantage. If you notice that time's running low and you're kind of stuck in the middle of the map, maybe it's smart to get onto a bomb site and help your teammates out. If you notice that time's getting low, let your teammates know, hey, they only have 15 seconds, they're probably coming in soon. Start using your utility. The timer is extremely important, so make sure you use it to your advantage. Peak corners with your team. Don't be that guy that's always making individual plays. If your teammates want to swing something together, count down.
Yeah, I'm picking this. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Try to make an effort to play together. I know that sometimes it'll be hard because you're playing with strangers, people you don't know. Sometimes people don't want to work together. But if you do take initiative to have that teamwork and peak angles together, then your teammates are more likely to also work with you as well. Losing equals learning. I always tell myself this. Even if you do end up losing the game, there is always something to take away from it. So try not to tilt too much. If you did have a hard loss, I know it's hard, but even give yourself a 2 to 3 minute break because it does get endless in the sense that it's very tempting to just re-queue over and over and over. And that's usually how the loss streaks start. Holy because I do think that when you are in this emotional state, it's a little bit harder to get back into the flow. But look at the positives. You got this. Knowing the map makes your life way easier, and that comes with experience for sure. But maybe trying to figure out what the best routes are to rotate through or the best ways to scale into the bomb site for the most optimal pathing will make the biggest difference. This is something that will come over time, but paying attention to how your teammates are clearing angles, even rotating, will help you become better as well, because those are the small differences that can make big change in your game. So try to pay attention to those small details while you're playing. Warm-up can be super helpful. general, going into the game dry is never recommended. So I do think that you should try to get some practice in just to get your feet wet before you do hop into comp. I think that spending a little bit of time to get your aim warmed up is going to help you out. I know that a lot of you guys are probably eager to just jump straight in, and I know sometimes I do as well, but usually it doesn't end up working out for me. So do spend a few minutes warming up, getting ready. It's going to make a big difference for you in game. Do your research. There's so much Valorant content out there. There's so many TikToks, Reels, streamers. You're looking at one. There's so many ways to learn new information, learn new lineups, learn new pathings, scalings, utils, ways to play the map, callouts, everything. Especially when there's a new map or a new agent, everyone's dying to figure out the newest tech. Doing your research is a good way to stay ahead of the curve and also continue to learn. So make sure you're putting in that time outside the server to make it easier for you to play. If you do follow all these things I just told you, I'm hoping for the love of God that you do not end up being iron or bronze, because that's extremely embarrassing. Just kidding, of course. But I do believe in you guys. Take this advice. Have fun. That's what it's about. And the more fun you have, the higher rank you'll be. Radiant soon. Let's go. With all that being said, I want to give a warm welcome to the console community. I'm not really sure what to expect with you guys coming in, but I think that it'll be cool to see how you guys spice things up. And I'm looking for new relationships to be made, new friendships to be made. Hopefully you guys will enjoy your time here. We welcome you with open arms and hope to see you in the servers soon. If you guys want more info for the Valorant release, click here. See you guys in the next one.